we love watching the NCAA for a variety of reasons, but it costs employers in lost productivity, right? We're just so distracted.
We're very distracted during this time of year, Fred. All of the time filling out our brackets, doing the research just to see the brackets get busted, right into the tournament, and then watching the games during work hours. It's costing employers and lost productivity.
Let me pause here. This guy is a buffoon. More.
Lost productivity up to $17.3 billion this year. That's up $1 billion from a year ago. And that's because we have more Americans working than they did a year ago. Wages are also up. So that's increasing lost productivity. And we're spending more time researching our brackets.
Oh, my goodness. That's big money when you put it that way.
This dude reminds me of that guy who sued when a bill came about to alleviate college debt for students. They just don't want fun. They don't want anyone to have a good time or benefit, period. Keegan Renew would tweet, "Let's try for $20 billion next year. Amen, brother." If you notice in the graphic that CNN broadcasted on their airwaves, it was from a company called Challenger Gray and Christmas. They would write in their "we're wasting money on the tournament" piece the following: "This year's tournament could cost employers $17.3 billion. The firm's estimate is based on the number of working Americans who are likely to be caught up in March Madness, the estimated time spent filling out brackets, streaming games, and average hourly earnings, which in February stood at $33.09, according to the BLS." There should be a stronger emphasis as well on the word could, because that is what they display. It could cost this much, but of course CNN's running with it. The comeback would write, "These numbers feel nearly impossible to prove. Even if they are provable, it's quite clear that sports fans simply do not care and have no interest in a news network stumping for their employers." It feels intentional, doesn't it? In this hyper-focused capitalist society, they want to put down the workers for trying to enjoy something that comes around once a year. A Finance Buzz survey found that 36%, more than a third of workers, admit to watching March Madness during the workday. Oh, boo-hoo. That same survey found that a quarter of workers have used paid time off or sick days to stay home and watch March Madness. I get it. That includes 11% saying they've used sick days and 4% saying they use PTO and sick leave. Which, by the way, totally within their right. Deadspin Stephen Knox would write, "This data alleges that corporations collectively lost just over $17 billion during the opening rounds of the men's basketball tournament. In fairness, for all the ways I get exploited by those corporations on a daily basis, I have the world's tiniest violin that I would rather throw in the ocean than play in sympathy with their plight. I agree." When am I going to see gas prices under $4 in LA? Oil companies are enjoying record profits. My internet service provider just hiked my monthly bill. Water is getting filthier and more expensive. Cost of living continues to skyrocket. The only home ownership in my future is if I purchase a Diana Ross or Stephanie Mills cassette single. They don't make those anymore. My tax dollars go to wrongful death lawsuit payouts following extrajudicial police killings, while the job creators that are forced to endure the heartache of a couple days of decreased productivity receive tax breaks. In a world that grows more hostile towards workers by the day, I could care less about examining how this dusty and stale topic affects corporations. My word, people still react like humans, unlike the robots that will soon replace us all and torpedo the world economy. Nathan Bernhardt of No Cartridge would write, "There's one consulting firm that gets booked to talk this stuff every year. It's basically their WrestleMania. They do the same thing about the Super Bowl, and that's their Royal Rumble. Incredible. It still works." Here's what I'll conclude with. If you want to show how unrelatable you are, continue doing this.